every time. Okay.
I'm Catherine,
And I'm Wayne.
and we are French living in our 70s.
Very good.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn. Okay,
God.
so we just got back from the United States. We went there for 2 weeks to see two of our grandchildren get married, and it was awesome. We had a great time. We're going to put a little bit of not information, clips at the end of this video to share just a little bit of the wedding. And yeah, it was beautiful. Small weddings, but really meaningful. And like I
Look,
said, it
and
was,
locations were great. The weather
oh,
was
yeah.
perfect. It was supposed to rain, didn't rain, and they were a week apart. So it was two consternation weeks trying to
Yeah,
figure out, making sure that it was going
because
to be good.
in the Northwest, at this time of year, there's a lot of rain. So they both were blessed with beautiful days. So, anyway, we wanted to do this video today to address and try to answer just a few of the questions that we've gotten in the comments. And so, Wayne, you started out.
I will.
This one's kind of a heavy duty one.
Yeah. How do you like my hat?
I like your hat. I think it's very French.
That's right.
And I just got bit by a mosquito, so
Oh, that's
I'm
coming up.
having fun.
All right. Um, yeah. One of the questions, we got several. I'm just no particular order. People were asking about issues like family, especially when you're on the upper end of the scale, age scale. They're concerned about health and what happens if
If we die.
something drastic happens, like you die. And so that's a problem that you need to address. If you've got health issues, maybe moving to another country might be a little bit dicey. But if you don't, for ourselves, our plan was 3 to 5 years ish, and that put us close to 80. And so then we're thinking, well, maybe we'll go back then, or sooner if need be. But it's important to to talk to your family about that. And but
Maybe come up with a plan if something unexpected happens, but it's a good question. We just don't have a clear answer for you.
yeah, so it's totally specific to what's happening to you. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what you need to, and do what is good for you. That's what you've got to do. You got to do what's good for you. Um, Medicare is an issue that if you're coming from the States, as we've said before, Medicare, if for every year that you're gone, it's not only the Medicare fee that you pay for the service, but also 10%. So it's 10% of whatever it is at the time. I think right now it's $185 a month. And so 10% on top of that.
It's 10% per year
Gone.
that you've opted out.
Right, opted out. So if it's 1 year, that's 10%. If it's 2 years, it's 10% more on top of that. And so it can go.
So
If you're gone for 10 years, it's almost now you're up about
double.
100%.
Yeah, you're double it.
And so
And that's for the rest of your life.
and
It's
you're for
not
the rest of your
just
life. Can you
for a
believe
few
that?
years.
I can
It's-
understand. Okay, that's for the years you've been gone,
Yeah,
but for the rest of your life, that just seems over excessive.
yeah.
So
Anyway, somebody asked, what did we do with all our stuff? Well, to be honest, we got rid of all of our stuff, furniture, everything. The
bed.
only thing we came with is our clothes in suitcases. So for us, we did keep a few boxes of mementos, of photo albums, things like that. And
Things that you just can't live without because you don't know. Do you?
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I have
just
too much
we
stuff.
didn't want to throw away.
Yeah.
But we didn't even have enough left for storage, so we asked our family if we could borrow some space in their garage. So that's what we did. But
Yeah.
there's different options for a lot of people. Some people can afford to have it shipped.
Have their
Some
whole house shipped.
Yeah, some people just rent a storage for while they're gone. So it's a totally individual choice
Yeah,
on that.
it's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, like I kind of mentioned before, also have a plan whether you're going to be here 1 year or 3 years, or 5 years, or just be here and never go back.
Yeah.
If your health is good, that's something that eliminates a lot of that problem question.
We
But
already answered this.
yeah, I thought it sounded familiar. Anyway, yeah. Um, Things that
Repeat.
are also the housing costs. Are you renting in a place that's on the coast on the Atlantic coast or in Biarritz or the Mediterranean? Their housing is going to be more if you're out in the country like where we are. So whatever you can afford, if the costs go up, then you know that's going to influence the economy. If the economy right now, I think France is pretty stable-ish. Haven't noticed much difference in the grocery store or gas. Um, those are things.
We kind of figured here we're probably saving about 20%, 20 to 30% in the cost of living. Our
Cheaper.
It's cheaper,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, some people said as much as 50%. I think that's a stretch, but it's definitely cheaper. It's cheaper to eat out, especially because you don't add a 20% or whatever tip on top of what your sorry motorcycle of what you are paying, and it is just less expensive. We both had lunch yesterday out, and we had uh, soda, glass of wine, each had a meal, and it was 26 euros. So that kind of gives you an idea. That's pretty normal for a lunch out. Another question that we got was cost of medication. Specifically, they were asking about diabetic medication. Now, we're not diabetics, so we don't know for sure. I looked online, and Ozempic is around 80 to 100 euros, but it could be not cost somebody hardly anything if they have the carte vitale, the health, national health. I don't know. We just got our numbers for that, so we're in the process of receiving that. So unfortunately, we really can't answer that with experience. But from what we understand, it is a lot cheaper for medication. I found personally, I was taking a name brand medication because it worked better for me in the United States. They don't have name brands here; it's all generic.
A lot of it's mostly generic.
Yeah, it's not mostly; it's all.
That's all.
It's all generic. That's at least that's what the pharmacist told me. So anyway, another question.
Somebody asked about documents. How much do you need? You know, copies of them. You really only need one, but I would suggest, hey, it's easy to just make 2 copies. It is 1 copy. So
Yeah.
that way you've always, if you need to leave one with something or mail something in, you don't have to go, oh, gee, now what do I do? So you're, depending on your long-term visa, it was pretty much when you go into the facility to get it all turned in, they give it right back to you. And
Yeah.
they take copies of what they want and
Same
give
with
it
the
back.
bank. When we opened our bank account, they just took their own copies and gave us back our copies. So really only 1 copy of everything, but it's obviously up to you. Like Wayne said, it never hurts to have two.
Social Security payments. Somebody asked you to get Social Security. Yes, you can. It goes into your bank, and then you work with a company like Wise to transfer the money with the exchange fee, and it all goes into your French bank account, and then you've got access to it. Plus, if you've got a debit card, credit card, you can still use your bank for purchases.
Yeah, we do that all the time. Grocery store, whatever. We use our U.S. debit card, and it's not a lot of. I think it's like 30 cents, for the international fee, and then it just translates, into euros. So it's not expensive to do it that way.
Okay. Somebody asked about location, about what to do, and I figure, you know what, you don't, you really don't need to come here and spend 3 months shopping around because everywhere you go, you're going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like,
What
what
kind of
kind of
weather?
weather do you want?
Yeah.
Do you mind it being rainy most of the time? Then the northern part of France would be great. If you have to have the sun and you got to be warm all the time, then you got to be close to the south. So it's like pick your weather pattern and go find a place and cop a squat.
What?
Haven't you seen that movie?
No.
Yeah, Pretty Woman. Anyway, here we
Okay.
go.
Rent cost and health insurance cost for your first year. Um, you know, health insurance coverage for your first year, which you need for your visa, is variable. It could be as low as 600 to 800 per person, on up from there, depending on what you choose for coverage. Personally, we paid 1,500 euros, but
That's for both of us, right?
no, that was each.
Oh,
Yeah. So, yeah, I know.
I knew that. But Betty Lou out there didn't know.
Okay. Anyway, so it depends on, you know, it's a menu. Pick how much coverage you want and how much you want to spend. So different options on that.
And
And
then the idea being that if you're here for longer than a year,
yeah,
then you
you
get
have the carte patelle.
the carte patelle, and then things, boy, the birds are singing today.
Yeah, they're singing and the mosquitoes are biting.
No,
I've
it's
got,
okay. That's
yeah,
good.
on my ankle
You're so
too.
sweet. All right. Yeah, we talked about that already,
Wait, gotta
and
turn it over.
yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Um, oh, driving. We mentioned before, 80% of the cars in Europe are manual transmission, the old stick shift. You're going to have to do that to get used to it. If you take a driving test in a automatic, you supposedly can't drive a manual on your
Car.
license.
Hmm.
And so if you have a manual, you can drive automatic. But one thing about having manual is it gives something for your left foot to do.
And also, your American driver's license will work over here for the first year. And there are some states, you can look them up online. Texas, we know, is one of them, that have a agreement with France, and that license is good over here until it expires. So, and a lot of people keep asking, how much are we paying for our rent? We are paying 1,100 euros for rent, and it includes all of our utilities. So it's definitely cheaper than getting a townhouse in, well, I'm sure there are a lot of places in the United States you could do that, but the places where we came from, Washington, California, there's no way you could get a nice place for that much money. So
Right.
anyway, those were some of our questions.
And we really appreciate everybody asking questions and we're so awesome. We have over 2,000 people subscribing. Thank you very much.
Yep, we
And
appreciate it.
lots of people seem to like what we're putting out there, and then let others know. And thank you so much.
We appreciate it. And next week we're planning a trip to the East Coast to see the Mediterranean, and we'll take some pictures of where we end up. We think we're going to a town, Narbonne, and so we're excited about seeing that.
All right.
All right. A biento.
A biento.